Start copywriting and you'll hit six figures in no time. Fly business class around the world, work from most exotic locations, and live a life of luxury. Well, whilst that certainly can happen, it's likely to take a lot of work and a lot of effort. Copywriting is a cool business, but it's definitely not for everybody. So here are 5 reasons why copywriting might not be the path for you. My name is Darius Lucas, and if you want more videos on copywriting, marketing, and business, click like and subscribe. And now let's get into the video. Number 1, it's very hard to scale. Well, when you are starting out, of course, this is the last thing that you are thinking. At this point, your goal is to get your first client, get over that threshold, and to start building your business as a copywriter. But now, a year, 2 years down the line, you'll have a bunch of clients. You'll have a bunch of assignments. You'll be writing multiple landing pages. You'll be writing multiple editorials. You'll be writing multiple pieces of copy a day. And that can be extremely draining and time consuming because it's something that you can't really stay at for 12 hours a day. It requires this intense focus. It requires market research. It requires you to be on top of your game in order to write a well-converting copy, because it doesn't just happen like that. There is an entire craft to it. And I'm sure that you'll get to the point where you are writing copy fairly fast, but there's a limit to how many pieces of copy can you write in a day. So that means that it's a very difficult business to scale because you can't be selling more of your work because you're the one doing the work. Of course, arguably, you can outsource somebody to help you. You can find an assistant, get an assistant copywriter, and work with this person together. Now, this is a skill that is a very high-level skill. It's a skill that requires time, effort, patience, and money to acquire. So usually when you go out there, you'll find very, I'd say, average copywriters that would be willing to be your assistant, which means that whatever they produce for you, you'll have to revise it time and time again because the copy won't be to the highest standard. So that means the whole outsourcing process becomes much harder. Of course, you can think of starting your own agency. It's a valid business model and it's something that I thought of myself, but I never started an agency because I didn't want more clients and I didn't want to be in charge of these operations where, we have demanding clients and we're having to meet their needs. But I know a lot of people who have done it and who are hitting 6, 7 figures and so on from their agency. So it's something that you can consider doing, but then that requires you to really level up and requires you to find really good people to work for you. And obviously then you become the person who runs the agency and possibly attracts and finds clients. But so these are the only paths that you can really scale your business as a copywriter. Another way to do that is selling your online courses. And this is why you'll find a lot of famous copywriters go from running an agency to selling courses, because that is definitely much more viable, much more scalable. So of course, it's a path that one can take. It definitely takes time to build your audience and then to really deliver good quality content. Obviously, there's a lot of BS content out there that those courses are very sort of average value, but you can go that way as well. So all in all, I'd say you have these options of actually starting your agency, outsourcing a copywriter, selling courses about copywriting, because that's probably the easiest way to scale. So if you do want to scale your business as a copywriter and you think that is a viable career for you, just have in mind that all of these 3 paths require certain sacrifices and require a certain amount of work. Of course, they can be done, but it's probably not the easiest career in terms of scalability. Number 2, free work. Yes, that's one of the things that is really bothering a lot of young copywriters, as in beginner copywriters, because you can be any age you want, obviously, to become a copywriter, is that you don't have a portfolio, you don't have clients, you don't have credibility, and you don't have authority. Sounds scary, I know, but it is possible to obviously acquire all of these things, but for that, you'll have to work for free. And that's one of the things why I think copywriting might not be for everybody, because unless you have a lot of contacts, or unless you have somebody that can sort of take you into the world, you'll probably struggle at the start in terms of building up your portfolio. So this is of course where free work comes in. This is where you need to be adamant about going out there, getting clients, even if they can't pay you, and writing lots of copy for them so you build up a portfolio. And this is one of the things that a lot of people don't want to do. It is time consuming. It is not guaranteeing you new clients. It is not guaranteeing you anything, but it's requiring you to put in quite a bit of of time in order to later on build up your career. So if you do think that copywriting is for you and you are ready to do some free work, of course, I'm pretty sure that down the line, you'll get your first client and then you'll get the ball rolling. But until that point, it will take quite some time until you build up that track record. Number 3, sell, sell, sell. Yes. Copywriting is essentially all about selling. Yes, let's peel away the glamour of being a writer on a beach, sipping a pina colada. You might be doing that. It might feel super nice, but at the same time, you have to be very clear that copywriting is about selling through words. So you are selling first your client's services or your client's products to their audience, but you are also selling your own services to your clients. So there's a lot of selling going on. And I do talk a lot about in my videos that copywriting is also about studying the human behavior, studying psychology, understanding how the human mind works, understanding how to tap into the brain of your customer. And whether that's, your customer is your client's customer or that's your own customer. And this is the paradigm that a lot of beginner copywriters resist, and they don't like this idea of selling. Yes, you can sell with integrity. Yes, you can sell with authenticity. You can have a different approach. You can do it differently. Of course you can. But at the end of the day, whether it's leisure type of marketing that we all hate or it's marketing with integrity, at the end of the day, it's all about selling. So you need to understand that for you to become an amazing copywriter, to scale a business, you actually need to become a good salesperson. You need to become an entrepreneur, you need to become a salesperson, and on top of that, you need to understand the human psychology. This is why if you do succeed as a copywriter, you do get paid a lot, because it's a high level skill to have, and it's a good one to have, but it's a skill that requires quite a bit of effort, quite a bit of time, and quite a bit of patience. If you have that, if you're willing to do that, be my guest. Number 4, nobody gives you credit. That's one of the sad things about being a copywriter, is that you don't get credit. So if you write a landing page, if you write a script, if you write, whatever, you never are credited for it. At the very best, you will be allowed to obviously include that into your portfolio, have it on your website as a sort of featured gig that you have done for your client, but it won't be something that features your name. And so if you are the person that loves to create that, that your work becomes your baby, as it is for a lot of writers, copywriting might not be for you, because copywriting can be quite sort of ghostly, because you are ghostwriting essentially a lot of the copy, and there is no name attached to the copy. And even if there is a name attached to the copy, that name is not yours. So if you're wanting credit, if you're wanting limelight, if you're wanting attention and recognition, well, copywriting is not the space for you. You have to be honest about it. If you are the person who's willing to put the best foot forward when it comes to copywriting for their clients, of course, the path to success is clear and you can get there and you can achieve it. But you have to understand that nobody will be singing your name. And lastly, a lot of manual labor. Copywriting is a craft that requires a lot of manual labor. And what do I mean by that? Of course, the process of writing is creative. And at the start, when you're jotting down your first draft, it can possibly be exciting and it can be interesting, especially if you like the client that you're working with. But once you produce that first bit of copy, you have to have it in mind that prior to that, you would have done a lot of research, you would have done a lot of digging, a lot of data analysis, understanding who the client is, understanding what's the customer, understanding what's the target audience, what language they're using, who they are, and the track record of the company that you're working for in terms of the sales that they've had, in terms of the product that they've been promoting and running, and now the product that you're writing for. So you see, there is a lot of stuff that you need to obviously do prior to start writing your copy, before the creative work. And once you've written your copy, there's a lot of editing that goes into it. Like having written a copy, that's just the first step. You need to be revising your copy, you need to be proofreading your copy, you need to be editing it. You then send it to your client gets back to you with their feedback, and their feedback might not be the feedback that you want to hear, in a sense that your copy might be really good and you might be the best at what you do, but your client might think differently. They might have a different idea. They might say, well, actually, no, I don't like this phrasing. It doesn't sound like me. It actually sounds this or that. and you know that that copy is good, you know that that copy will convert and will get clients for your client, but you can't do anything because your client is saying, well, change that or change this or change something else. So that's quite a long process of you going back and re-editing, going back and rewriting, going back and sort of, revisiting your copy again. So it's not something that is only spontaneous, only creative, only exciting, as is often portrayed here on YouTube by other copywriters or on Facebook when you see copywriting courses advertised. Yes, copywriting can be your path to freedom, where you can travel around the world, you can make passive income and so on. But really, you are likely to be putting in a lot of hours, a lot of work, a lot of effort in order to actually build up that business. If you are listening to all of this and you're thinking, well, actually, no, that sounds like me. I can actually do that. I have all the skills needed, or I can learn all the skills needed, and I can cultivate all the skills and actually build up a nice business for myself. Then of course, go for it, no doubt. I mean, it's a brilliant career, but also be realistic about what this career actually requires. And if you do want to continue your path as a copywriter, this channel is for you, so don't forget to click like and subscribe. And here are some videos appearing on the screen that can take you further along on the journey of copywriting. And I'll see you in the next video.